Welcome to the Blockchain Hustle.
So, in our last couple of episodes, we looked at first how Web3 is getting a boost from generative AI. And then in the second one, we flipped the script and explored how Gen AI is using blockchain to power up its capabilities. Now that we have covered the basics, let's speak at some cutting edge experiments that are blending generative AI and blockchain. What we call it as innovative experiments at the intersection. I have already mentioned about ZKP, zero knowledge proof, in the previous episode. Here are a couple more. So let's get straight into them. Now, the first one is your decentralized physical infrastructure, or called DePIN. Now, generative AI compute, which is both the training as well as the inference parts, Gen AI compute is quite expensive. Now, to address this, there is a lot of buzz around crowdsourced computing power of Gen AI. And there are some workings and talks around decentralized GPU architectures, which is going to be used for fine tuning your Gen AI models, for training those models. And the end objective here is to make this Gen AI compute more accessible, more affordable. However, we see that we often miss a key cog in this equation, and that is a super fast communication bus or the network fabric between these decentralized GPUs. That's something which is essential and something which may not be practical with the present infrastructure. The point that I would like to make out here is that when we are looking at the synergies, those sweet spots, we should look not just at the match of those technologies, but also keep into consideration the costs which are involved, the various issues which are involved. Now, having said that, there is a lot of good work being done across the decentralized physical infrastructure, the DePIN. And an example out here is Phoenix and Helium, which are exploring the decentralized AI infrastructure to make this high performance computing more accessible. Next up is autonomous and semi autonomous agents. Now, we are seeing some pretty exciting developments out here. But first, let's see what exactly are these agents. Autonomous agents, they take a task and then they break it down into subtasks and iteratively they solve them, taking action on users' behalf. Whereas the semi-autonomous Gen AI agents, they operate with a degree of human oversight or intervention. They can execute the predefined tasks or they can make decisions based on specific preconditions, but they may require occasional human intervention or a human input. Now, each, the autonomous and the semi-autonomous agents, they have their own specific requirements. And between the two, we are seeing that the requirements of the semi-autonomous agents, they are seeing a better fit with blockchain. The blockchain runtime, in fact, is generally seen to be more suitable for the semi-autonomous Gen AI agents rather than the autonomous one. Why is that? Let's take a look. Now, first up is control, governance, and guardrails. Let's take an example. You have industries like your healthcare, your finance, and legal sectors. These verticals, they require adherence to complex regulations and quite a few legal interpretations. The autonomous Gen AI agents may struggle with those nuanced legal interpretations, and I don't blame them for that. And also could be evolving regulatory requirements that require some human judgment. These semi autonomous agents can integrate the human oversight and can effectively address them. And it is not just governance. Blockchain has those smart contracts. Those smart contracts can also double down as guardrails, those immutable guardrails around the agents. Imagine the agents involving transactions using a person's private data, private medical records, or say some financial transactions, and some sensitive information is generated and it gets shared further. The guardrails can ensure that this does not happen again. The second one is flexibility and adaptability. The blockchain smart contracts, they provide a flexible framework for the semi-autonomous agents to operate under some predefined rules with a room for human intervention whenever necessary. Now let's take an example where you have the handling of some exception cases or some edge cases as we call them. Now, the predefined algorithms in the fully autonomous agents, they may struggle to kind of adapt to those unpredictable scenarios. They're not tuned for that. And they will not be able to handle those edge cases effectively. However, when it comes to the semi-autonomous agents, these guys, they can escalate such cases to the human operators who hopefully can apply their judgment and experience to resolve them appropriately. Another example is the customer interaction and the user experience. Now, the autonomous agents they may handle the routine customer inquiries very efficiently, but they would lack in certain places like empathy, questions or queries which may require some empathy, understanding of some nuanced inquiries, or personalized responses. And that is where semi autonomous agents can help because they can blend the automation with the human interaction, and thus they can enhance the user experience and get that trust factor. Then you have security and trust. Now, let's say you have some use case which involves some sensitive ethical decision making and some moral dilemmas. Now, the autonomous agents, they would typically operate based on some predefined algorithms, and they may not be very well equipped here for these cases. The semi autonomous agents can involve the human oversight, and that could help to make their decisions align with the ethical standards and the community expectations. Another example is on the complex risk assessment. Now, you have industries like insurance or the investment management where risk assessment requires a consideration of a diverse set of factors and also some kind of subjective evaluation. The autonomous agents, they may rely on the quantitative models for the risk assessment. But when it comes to some kind of a qualitative factor or say some kind of a subjective risk evaluation, they may struggle. The semi autonomous agents can integrate the human intervention, human oversight, or let's say the human expertise to assess the complex risks a little bit more comprehensively, and this would help towards making some informed decisions. Next one is decentralized coordination. Now, multiple semi autonomous agents can work together towards a common goal. They can manage the tasks between themselves by sharing information in a decentralized manner. Blockchain can enable this by providing the necessary framework for this. A very interesting example here is of Kleros. Now, Kleros uses a decentralized jury system to resolve disputes. And this is a concept that could be pretty well adapted to the coordination of these semi autonomous AI agents. And lastly, we have scalability and performance. Now, the fully autonomous Gen AI agents, they are supposed to operate in the real-time environment with a minimal human intervention. And for this, they need to be equipped for the real-time and the high-frequency decision making. Things that the current blockchain implementations may not be optimized for. And these requirements might not align with the batch processing and the consensus mechanisms which are inherent in the blockchain systems. In contrast, the semi autonomous AI agents, They can leverage the blockchain for things like periodic updates, verification of the state changes, settlement of the transactions, and so on, without being constrained by the real time performance limitations. So basically, to sum it, the semi-autonomous Gen AI agents, they would excel in scenarios where the blockchain applications require some kind of a human judgment, where it requires regulatory compliance, handling of the exceptions, ethical considerations, some kind of a complex risk assessment, and personalized customer interaction. And these agents, they would leverage the blockchain technology for transparency and security, while integrating the human oversight to ensure some effective decision making. And especially, this is especially in situations where the pure automation may fall short. So that's on the autonomous and the semi-autonomous Gen AI agents. So there you have it, how generative AI is leveraging blockchain to solve problems as well as explore new possibilities. From managing the content ownership to enhancing the model transparency, blockchain is indeed proving to be an invaluable tool for the Gen AI world. And with this, we wrap up our deep dive into the sweet spots between generative AI and Web3, where these two tech titans intersect. We have explored how Web3 leverages Gen AI. This was explored in the first episode under this topic, as well as how Gen AI leans onto blockchain to boost up its capabilities, to address challenges and seize opportunities. This was done in the previous episode and also in this episode. And in this episode, we also covered a few interesting experiments happening at the intersection of these two technologies. Hope you enjoyed this exploration of Gen AI and blockchain partnership. Let me know if you do need any tweaks or additional content. Leave a review, share the episode, and let's keep this conversation going. Cheers. Thanks for tuning in and hope you enjoyed this exploration. Let me know if you need any tweaks or additional content. You can reach me at minu@minusareen.com. My Twitter handle is minusareen, and my contact details are here. Leave a review, share the episode, and let's keep this conversation going. Cheers.